the young generation why we consider this generation extremely lucky to have Chief Mbazunike Amaechi, not only around with us, but always willing to educate, to enlighten, and to teach the younger generation of the way forward. Without wasting time, because we delayed and began very late, I will announce that on behalf of the Igbo Youth Movement, we please with His Excellency Obong Victor to help us present this award to Chief Mbazunike Amaechi for enlightening generations for decades as a great pillar of this country. Thank you.
It is my dear pleasure, sir, not to receive you here, but to make this presentation. Like says the Chief Mbazunike Amaechi with the award of being granted the award of Great Pillar for consistency defending the truth. Congratulations, sir.
So our pillar, they wish to respond. No, that is
Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, I must express my very deep gratitude to Mr. Elliot Uko and his organization, the Igbo Youth Movement, for putting up this occasion and doing me the honor. I thank God for sparing my life and enabling me to be present here today in person. At my age of 90 years, I am very selective of the occasions that I attend. More so when I have two naughty close associates and hypocritical friends who try at every stage to stop me from traveling. Their unbaptismal names are called rheumatism and lower waist pain. When I defy them and they follow me on my regular medical trips to Lagos or Abuja, they become jealous when they see me royally wheeled into and out of aircraft in wheelchair, and thereafter into a waiting limousine. I am happy that this honor is being given to me in conjunction with that great political leader and inspirer of Africa, Owele Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, and that great former governor of Imo State called Sam Mbakwe. I am sure that wherever they are, they will value this honor more than they would have valued an honor from blood-stained hands. Today, I am the only surviving minister of the first government of independent Nigeria, one of the last 10 or so surviving freedom fighters alive. No present ruler of Nigeria or any state remembers us except at the time of President Olusegun Obasanjo, Governor Babangida Aliyu of Niger State, Governor Kwakwaso of Kano State, Dr. Bonayano who has been a regular sustainer of me and other nationalist freedom fighters right from the time he was governor of Old Abia State. I clocked 90 years of age on June 16 this year, and my senator and representative, Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Ubah and Honorable Chris Atubogu, after consulting with some political leaders across the country, decided that my 90th birthday should not be celebrated as a family affair. A national planning committee was set up, and the celebration has been scheduled to take place at Owerri, Imo State, on Saturday, 30th November 2019. His Excellency Governor Emeka Ihedioha has very kindly offered to hold the occasion. My book on the political history of Nigeria, also my thoughts and words, will be presented that day. It is a 2-volume publication of some 800 pages with a foreword written by former President Olusegun Obasanjo. I was an active insider and part of the politics and political events of those areas, of those eras. And historians will find in the 2 volumes of the book facts and information which they can never find in any other book or library. The planning committee will soon start distributing invitations. But whether you get it or not, I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, and Mr. Uko and the Igbo youth movement, I ask you to do me the honor of your esteemed presence on that day. And in fact, all of you, including my distinguished Excellency. Today, we are living in a country that is full of danger. We are living in a country where there is no peace. Today, we are living in a country where the majority live in fear. Today, we are riding in a ship that may tip over any time and sink any day. Today, we are living in a country where the rulers refuse to listen to the loud cries of the ruled. Today, we are living in a country where the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. Today, we are living in a country where the corrupt and criminal elements are in control. Today, we are living in a country that is ruled without a constitution that is a people's constitution. In 1978, the military appointed a constitutional assembly, constituent assembly under the chairmanship of Chief Rotimi Williams. The assembly produced a draft constitution, sent it to the military government, and the military government edited it, removed what they did not like, added what they wanted, and published it as a constitution by decree. By a decree by an illegal government that was never elected, instead of putting the draft to Nigerians for plebiscite. Again, in 1998, The military appointed another constituent assembly, and when they produced their result in 1999, the military again edited it and published it as a decree. So the Constitution of 1979 and the Constitution of 1999 are not the Constitution of the people of Nigeria. So I say it loud and clear that Nigeria is today ruled by an elected illegality. What to do? It is the Constitution that binds us or any country together in a union, particularly in case of Nigeria, in a union of different languages and customs, different religions, unbalanced population, local administration, and different levels of economic and educational developments. The leaders of Nigeria, not just politicians alone, must meet in a friendly, brotherly atmosphere, objectively look at our past, and in a spirit of give and take, see where we have made mistakes in the past, and pronounce forgiveness where necessary. Of the 59 have ruled the country for a total of 31 years. That is to say, Tafawa Balewa 6 years, Shehu Shagari 4 years, Obasanjo 8 years, Yaradua 2 years, Jonathan 6 years, and Buhari 5 years. Of the military that ruled for 28 years, only 2 were from the south. That is, Agui Ironsi 6 months and Obasanjo 2 years. The rest of the military rulers were from the north. There is no doubt that the north has majority in population and spread, and must enjoy some benefits associated with that position. There is no doubt that the north is predominantly Muslim. They can marry 4 wives, while here in the south, we are sentenced by religion and culture to 1 wife. Therefore, the population of the north is bound to grow faster than ours. But in a true federation, other factors than population are also considered in order to remain together and peaceful. There are such other factors such as the main source of wealth of the country. For example, almost all the states of the south are producing the wealth of the country in oil and gas. For other parts of the country to manage and control the wealth and only move to settle a few chiefs and leaders and share the keys to a handful of militants in the fire brigade attack solution is awaiting an explosion one day. For there to be permanent peace in the country must meet and renegotiate the basis of the union in a fraternal way. Those in authority are reluctant or unwilling to meet and find a solution. The Afenifere, Hanese, Niger Delta, Middle Belt, and other organizations, along with Southern Nigeria People's Assembly, They have all met and been demanding the structuring of the country. These elitist organizations cannot force or compel the powers that be to agree to restructuring when the present position designed and crafted by the military leaders and handed over to them suits their purpose. The pious resolutions of Johannes and the Philippe and others are like whispering and advice to deaf ears. Only action, peaceful action, non-violent action, non-provocative action will force a come together of the leaders and politicians. Youth and people of this present age, they give me the impression that they are indolent, lazy, cowardly, unpatriotic, unnationalistic, and even mercenary. If the youth, students, organized labor, market men and women, religious leaders, professionals, civil liberty organizations, interstate transporters rise up and commence non-stop, non-violent, peaceful demonstration, by the time they have been on the road for 1 or 2 weeks, they would have drawn the attention of the world to what is happening in Nigeria. And that is the only way we can save this country. During this demonstration, the demonstrators themselves should arrest the miscreants and looters and hand them over to security agents. And security agents must not shoot people who are terrorizing to claim their own rights. If you people, if you the youth of today and the people of today do not move to secure your future, nobody will do it for you. We have done our own in our own time. Thank you very much.